Earlier, we spoke to our CCTV correspondent Jack Barton over in Tripoli. He told us about the rift between the rebels and the NATO due to the coalition's mistaken killing of opposition fighters, as well as the strife between the rebel forces themselves.
Well, we're certainly seeing a rift between NATO and the rebels, or at least between the rebels and NATO. Now, we heard comments from General Yunus today, the rebel commander, that if NATO killed any more rebels, they would call on the UN to end the no-fly zone, which seems a little bit suicidal, since you could almost guarantee that government troops would be back in Benghazi in 48 hours if that happened. But there's also a rift within the opposition forces themselves, because General Yunus, he's the former Interior Minister who has sort of appointed himself the military commander despite his lack of experience. He's pushed away General Haftar, who is a former veteran and leader of the armed forces in Libya with far more experience. So, you know, there's this large rift going on. We've also had comments today from another opposition rebel leader who, while he was criticising NATO, also gave away the secret markings on rebel vehicles publicly, which NATO claims helps identify them between the government forces. You can guarantee, as we're speaking, the government troops will now be painting these markings on their vehicles. So if it was difficult for NATO to, make a difference between the rebels and the government today, it's going to be almost impossible for them tomorrow. And this conflict really is now being marked by rifts. I mean, rifts here in Tripoli amongst the government, rifts amongst the opposition in Benghazi, and certainly a rift now between the opposition in Benghazi and NATO.